Hey comic book fans, today we are talking about Ben 10 issue 1 2026. Now, there's been a lot of buzz surrounding this comic, and for somebody like me that grew up on Ben 10, it was the first thing I was a fan of as a child when I was able to, understand things alongside with Batman, Spider-Man, Transformers, and stuff of that nature. I'm going to be very critical of this because again, this is one of my most favorite IPs, characters of all time. The story starts off showing Vilgax and is showing his dialogue, and the dialogue particularly with him is not bad. I don't mind the dialogue of how they are showing the perspective and the mindset of him to start off with. Now, if you've watched the Ben 10 animated series, for me this goes beat by beat with how he got his powers. And another thing I quickly noticed when reading this comic is that the art. I'm not a big fan of the art here. I feel like the art could have been better. In my personal opinion, they could have gotten somebody better to do the art. Overall on this book, because it's Ben 10, I feel like the expressions and the gestures was simply off. It's like you got the overall point of it, but the art did not fully it's not there to match what is going on in the book, in my opinion. And so I am not a big fan of the art in here. Just to start that off, with the particular dialogue and the back and forth with Gwen and Ben, it wasn't bad, right? Like, it wasn't anything that to make me roll my eyes, but I feel like it could have flowed better between their dialogue, between their bickering back and forth. Another thing is that they showed the military in this, and the military is picking up what is coming down back to Earth. Something's crashing down, something's landing to Earth, and the military is the first to detect that. And as Ben 10's getting lost in the forest, mad at what Gwen said to him, he comes across the crash site of the Omnitrix, and the overall concept of what happened is kept in this story. I'm very interested to see what happens going forward, right? But as I was reading this, I'm replaying the first episode in my head as I'm reading this book, and I'm picking apart and I'm seeing what's there, what's not there. And so the Omnitrix gets attached to his arm, and obviously Ben 10 starts to freak out, but the military is already en route. They're already in the forest looking for the crash site and looking for what was there. So now the military, you have the concept of them hunting down what is the Omnitrix itself. And so you have both Gwen, Grandpa, and Ben in the forest, along with a large sum of the US military. And we have Grandpa looking for Ben, and Gwen is back at the RV. And again, as I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, things are seeming whatever. Then come across this bear, right? This zombie monster looking bear. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And I did read, and I did know that they said they was going for more absolute and an overall more darker and twisted tone to Ben 10. I just don't see the particular reasoning for why this bear is here, because Ben comes across this bear, and this is the reason for why he changes. And he changes into forearms first. And if again, being a fan, if I remember correctly, he changes into Heat Blast first. So they switched up who the first, being Ben 10 turns into, being forearms, and then he gets into a fight with this, carnivorous, raging bear that seems to be altered in some shape or form. And there's nothing inherently wrong with this. I just don't think this was necessary for the introduction of the story, right? This doesn't add anything particular just for somebody for Ben 10 to fight. And just this massive carnivorous monster bear that was in the forest. I wonder why they come across them sooner before he got the Omnitrix. But it's neither here or there. So he's fighting this bear, and he's luckily getting the upper hand. That's when he ends up changing back into Ben. So they do keep the aspect of the Omnitrix that he cannot that he cannot stay in one form for too long before the Omnitrix changes him back to his normal self, and then it takes some time. And he's still fighting this bear. This is like the first thing he comes in contact with when it comes to Ben versus anything. Then he changes into Heat Blast second. So they still keep him changing into Heat Blast in the forest. And Heat Blast looks different. And he looks okay as Heat Blast. They changed the overall design of Heat Blast. And it's not that I don't like it. Again, it's the art itself that it's hard for me to get into. And it's hard for me to keep my full, engaged within the story when the art itself for me is just not there. But as this is, continuing going on, he changes to Heat Blast, then that scares off the altered bear, and then it runs off. But then he ends up, burning the forest around him in that Pacific area. So they still do add that part into this story. Like in the cartoon, he changes into Heat Blast and damn near burns down the entire forest. Gwen is still back at the RV by herself, and Grandpa is still looking for Ben in the forest. And on top of that, the military is in the forest as well. So I'm wondering what are they going to go for here? Is the military going to be the main situation they're going to have to deal with? And at the ending of this issue, just like the beginning, it shows Vilgax and him setting course for Earth. The design for Vilgax, in my opinion, looks absolutely terrible. I don't know what they was going with, but his original design, which was much better than this, and what they came up with was just terrible. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like, share, and subscribe for more. And thank you for watching.